I'm just saying, from the 4th century building up through
I've already seen his PhD thesis based, the book is based on. He's like a high school student trying to make a thesis. I would not have passed him as
So you have to give your points of why you refuse that.
Really? Yeah, I've already mentioned that already.
As even said, with all
yes.
No,
I have read his PhD thesis.
Okay.
It's like, as I said, not even a high school student would make something like this. We know manuscripts has, scribal mistakes.
Anyway,
it doesn't make sense.
We don't want chaos. Come up with your reasoning.
Yeah. 1 second.
So are you gonna put on the website your reasoning?
Look. Here's the thesis.
Okay.
Intentional changes in the Quran by Daniel Brubaker.
So where are you going to refute that?
One moment.
Sorry, what are you guys discussing?
So this is Brubaker. Now they think they've got something. Don't worry about it. Like I've refuted these people before, it will be another example of my PowerPoint.
So is there a website we can go to?
One second.
Debate.
The lies they were talking about, like the Quran, 24, 31 versions and so on and so forth, Hafs Quran is different, Wash Quran is different. Just type in seashells. Yes. These are seashell missionaries. Okay, you're supporting them. You will see I have done enough examples of refuting them and their lies from Quranic manuscripts themselves.
Okay.
So you can just go online and search.
The sources, right?
Right. So here.
Where do I find you?
If you go to SCDawah and look for seashells, is it seashells?
Yeah.
Seashells is what you're saying, is it?
Yeah, just say Seashell Quran.
Look on YouTube.
And type my name Mansur. I'm sure you'll find this particular video of this.
Dan Brubaker has found variances in all the oldest manuscripts that exist. Okay, which is about 10 of them.
No, that's not true. He only examined. Obviously, you haven't read his thesis, haven't you?
Mansur.
You haven't read his thesis. He's examined some manuscripts.
You're not up to date on that, mate. You're not up to date on that. You're not up to date on that.
My friend, how many manuscripts are there within the first 300 years of Islam? Quranic manuscripts.
First 300 years.
Yeah.
I don't know the number. But
has he examined all of them?
He is. Yes.
We have, do you know, altogether, we have 250,000 manuscripts.
No.
He has access to
the very oldest, the most 10 oldest manuscripts, the ones he mentioned today. There has been 4,000 variances found in those old manuscripts.
Listen,
4,000.
let me give you an example of
4,000.
Let me give you some
significant.
Let me give you some examples.
Significant.
You think significant? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Relax.
No,
okay,
so
that's come up. So I've got it.
Did you read the book?
Huh?
Have you read the book?
Yes.
It's not going to be published till tomorrow, is it?
Not the book itself, but I've read the content. Because I was given the content yesterday.
Hang on.
All day, spent a whole day.
Have you read his thesis? The answer is no. Have you read his book?
I've looked at the variances. I've looked at the variances.
No, you guys do it.
The methodology.
General accusations.
No,
I know.
Look, sticking to the facts.
Excuse me.
The book's being published tomorrow,
Hello?
so I didn't even know it's available yet.
Listen, do you want to see how his thesis is dismantled? Look at all these annotations by me and various other people that can do that same thing. So this is not what I'm saying. Because I'm saying this particular individual, his methodology is less than core of a high school student. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Because that's your generic statement.
I'm about to tell you why.
Okay, go on then.
To establish, like this book says, corruption of the text implies there's some kind of intentional changes. This is his name of the thesis, intentional changes of the text. But obviously, he doesn't tell you what he means by intentional changes.
Right.
Tell me, in his definition, what is an intentional change?
No idea.
Wasn't an accident.
Sorry, what's that?
Wasn't an accident.
Wasn't an accident.
He means unintentional.
Yeah, it wasn't unintentional.
When we say biblical manuscripts are corrupted,
it was deliberate.
Okay, deliberate.
Yeah.
So when someone scribes make a mistake by his eyesight and corrects it, is that a deliberate mistake?
That's not what it was. That's not what we're talking about.
Hang on. So this is the level of your ignorance that you're showing. Allow me to finish my statement. You cut me half in the middle.
You're insulting them.
This is the level of your.
You get a personal insult.
My friend.
Well, I was being the truth.
I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You know why?
No, I'm not being personal to you.
Because he defines what he means by intentional changes. He says basically,
you said there was no
any
context,
changes.
and he gave you the context, so you lied.
Any changes. So even if it was a change by some accident, he calls that a change. But you know that this is not a corruption of a text. For example, you might just miss a word when you're writing. That's not an intentional corruption.
Right. Can I give you an example? Here's an example then. So we've got in the old manuscripts the dots, the diacritics, whatever you call them.
In Hebrew.
Yeah. In those generations, but at that time, those dots did not exist.
Of course.
So in those manuscripts,
from the first century.
We're talking about the Hebrew now.
No, you're talking about the Arabic.
the manuscripts
The Arabic
of
manuscript.
Quran.
Okay.
Those Qurans,
Yeah.
as you see the Qurans, they're without the dots.
Show him the first
The
manuscript.
dots get added later on. So in this particular example of the
That's what I said. Little knowledge
of
is
the
dangerous.
manuscript, which is the one you can find in the museum, it does not contain dots.
Which museum?
Huh?
Which museum?
The one in Topaki, wherever that is. What's the first
Top copy.
Top copy,
Look,
yeah.
top copy. I'll tell you. I'll tell you now.
So let me finish. So in the top copy, where he shows that this was an insertion, the insertion is the only element of the word that's got dots on them. All the ones around it have no dots.
Sure. So it's a later correction, right?
Yes.
Good.
So it's
now,
not like a typo. And
okay,
and fix it.
wait a moment.
Much later on.
Okay.
So therefore,
Now,
somebody's come back to the manuscript.
I have the
and
top copy
made
on
the
my
correction.
phone. We can go through the example if you want. Top copy is here on my phone.
With the dot, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, wait. Sorry.
The
Now,
original type.
excuse me. One second.
Yeah.
Let me show you before I go into this. Look,
It's not top part.
on folio 330,
Yeah.
page 7R, there's an alif.
No.
Are you listening?
It's quite shiny actually. I thought you might be.
There is an alif insertion. So someone inserts an alif there, and you call it corruption, right? One example. Oh, in another one, there's an alif written about it. There's another one, another alif.
Yeah.
Right? Wait. Oh, another alif.
Yeah.
So you're saying these are corruption, not realizing
That's
that
not. We're not
if you allow me to finish, an alif is an insertion in his understanding.
Yeah.
So Quranic manuscript had traditions in writing, because you have the Kufans writing in a particular way, you have the Basrans writing in another way. So manuscripts were written in a particular tradition of writing, because writing itself was being developed as the Quran was revealed to them. The Arabs did not have a fully functional, developed orthography of Arabic language. Quran is the first book in Arabic language that you can even point to.
Okay.
Right. So when there are Quranic schools writing Quranic manuscripts in different area, in Basra and in Kufa and so on, they had their own traditions of how to write. The question is, how do you vocalize an oral text? For example, if I say I want to say Al-Alameen, now how do you write it with this prolongation? Are you going to write E-E-E-E-E-E-N at the end to say in? Or are you going to say one E? Or are you going to say E with a dash at the top? Convention is important. So when the Quran was written, in certain manuscript traditions, all of those things which has like a vowelized form of alif sound, like Alameen, they would not have that vowel in there. So you might think it says just Alameen, but actually when it's written, it will be always, when it's recited, it will always recite as Alameen, even though there is no alif, this particular letter vowel, A type sound, A sound. So certain manuscripts were kept with certain places, and they thought, now we want to read this manuscript. This is not like, a treasure. When they had this manuscript, it wasn't a manuscript. It was just a copy of the Quran. They want to read it. And they want to say, I want to read it with this aid. Now we have the aids of dots and alif, whatever. We can make it easier for us to read. So they would differentiate this with a different color and put it on the text so it's easier to read. Original is there. So you can see that, okay, this is like a
Preserving the pronunciation.
Yes. So it is making sure people are pronouncing correctly. Without the alif, you would still read it as Alameen, Malik, and so on. So these examples are not of corruption intentionally by adding text. Get a life and understand what's happening. Secondly,
I'm not even saying that. That's not even the claim. That is not the claim.
Listen.
That is not even the claim.
Clearly, look, how can you even argue with me when you haven't even read the thesis?
But do they know even Arabic?
Look,
do you even understand?
Look
Your
here.
argument is not against the claim.
You need to understand the
The
basics of Arabic to know
the
this.
claim is saying that when we look at the original manuscript, those are the oldest manuscripts that we've got, which is not the original, obviously, because you haven't got an original
We
manuscript.
got the first century Al-Hijrah, unlike you guys.
No, you haven't.
We don't have the
We
first
don't have a
century.
full Quran at the very first one.
We do.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. Nice talking
Anyway,
to you.
Likewise,
God
Julie.
bless,
Take care.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Are you? Where are you?
Yeah, this is a long way away.
No, a long way away.
He doesn't want to tell you basically.
No, I won't.
But anyway, Julie, you get the idea.
Anyway.
Do you come down here every week?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, you don't.
Sadly, pretty much.
No, you don't.
I do.
Right. It's okay. It's all right.
Regular.
It's all right.
Am I not regular?
Well,
We are old friends, Mark and I.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, come on. So,
Anyway,
Julie, nice talking to you. Thanks for your time. By the way, watch the video. I give you the channel name.
If you go to the Dan Brubaker, and of course there are 4,000 of these examples, in the book there are 22 that have been given, and these 22, we've got insertions, we've got subtext underneath,
I'll have a look.
We've got things that have been removed and raised, we've got things inserted where there wasn't space.
I just told you, manuscript traditions can have scribal mistakes and correction within it.
Yeah, but here's the point.
What's the point?
Here's the point, is that because of the evidence we got, those updates were clearly done at a later stage, not at the time.
Okay.
Not at the time.
So this is a homework for you,
the
Christians.
reason why we know this, sorry, let me just say this says point. The reason why we know this, because there were different style of writing, different nib, different ink, and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Even Brubaker himself says some of them are original correction by the original scribe.
Yeah.
You forgot to read that because you haven't read his thesis.
No, because somebody sent him only a selected.
Yeah. So what I'm asking you
book
is this: a homework.
No, there's
A homework.
4,000.
Little knowledge is dangerous.
No, hang on. A homework for you, my friend. A homework.
Not at all.
Right. I want you, Christians, to find an example that you think was very significant and find manuscripts, contemporaneous or earlier, which goes with supposed original and not this correction. Then you have a point. But if you can't find any manuscripts, but every manuscript is in line with how we read it, then you are just waffling and waffling, nothing else.
And
Waffling in the water.
Mark, also find the first century Christian manuscripts.
Yeah.
Because you said 79 AD. I want to know where.
So what I'm saying is that when you look at the earliest 10 manuscripts,
Which manuscripts?
the earliest 10 that was...
So are you talking about the Bible or the Quran now?
Quran.
Okay, good.
So in those manuscripts, you are seeing all sorts of variations, which has been documented. There are over 4,000 of them. Okay.
Just making
Right.
How many of them, of these 4,000,
Yeah.
are actually variations that are consistent across the manuscripts from that period?
That's not my point.
That is my point.
No, but that's a red herring.
It's not a red herring.
Because what your claim is,
I don't think you understand
what
what
your
he's
claim is, every manuscript is perfect and
Who's claimed
without
that?
error.
No, who's claiming that?
Muslims, you guys have.
Wait,
even
slow
claimed it.
down.
You've claimed it.
Slow down.
You've claimed it.
Slow down. Which Muslims on planet Earth are saying every single manuscript is like a printed copy without any printing mistakes? Who claimed that?
You guys have.
I think you're just making
You're just
up things.
hearing
No.
fairy tales.
You said
should wrap
every
up. It's been
every ayah, every dot, every word, every surah.
Oh, now I
has
realize
been preserved,
you have been
has
brainwashed by
preserved.
all these
your
things.
Words, your words,
listen.
your words. I've heard it myself.
Listen.
I've heard it on the video. So
Of course, you didn't speak up
I've
in
heard
the
it.
language that I spoke.
No.
Let me tell you what I mean.
So what?
Hello, let me tell you what I mean.
Let him
Let me tell you what I mean, right? Let me tell you what I mean.
I'll give you in a minute.
No, before you in a minute, let me tell you because you have misunderstood
You're making
exactly.
an allegation against him. Let him
Well, let
clarify.
me finish my sentence.
Okay,
though.
go on.
So that in case you misunderstand.
Okay, what did I say?
So what I'm saying is that you
What did I
said
say?
that the Quran
Yeah.
from the day of Muhammad has been preserved in every dot, every ayah, every element of the Quran. So when you go back,
Finish
to
your
check-
sentence. Finish your sentence.
So to today,
No, finish your sentence.
yeah.
The
so,
Quran is every dot, every ayah, and then finish your
yeah,
sentence.
every surah, every word has
What?
been preserved.
That's true.
And is
Preserved. Don't you get it?
no.
Preserved. Let me tell you how it's preserved. Do you know what a dot is in the manuscript tradition? What does a dot mean?
The diacritic, or whatever you call it. These 5 vowelations or whatever. The things that change the way that particular word needs to be pronounced and understood.
A dot has 2 meanings. Go on, I give you the chance to now learn something today.
Yeah, you have 5 dots.
What
5
do the
potential
dots?
2 at top and 3 down the bottom.
What do the dots represent in Quranic manuscripts?
That's Urdu.
What
No, you have
do
dots
the
around
dots?
the left.
Okay,
Carry on.
what do the
something like
dots?
that.
What do the dots represent in the Quranic manuscripts? Obviously, it's clearly showing again. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
You haven't picked up any scholarly work on the Quranic manuscripts. What they mean by dots? What is a dot in the Quranic manuscript tradition?
So that particular word can be properly understood what it means in the way that you need to
You have
understand
the
that
option
word.
to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, be frank and say,
Is that not
sorry,
right?
I was misled
Is that
by
not
my
right?
team.
No,
I don't know.
No.
let me tell you what it is. A dot could be differentiating between the letters with diacritical markings. To differentiate between ba and ta, you can have a dot or a marker and it differentiates it between the two consonantal letters. You can have dots which are colored, like green, blue, red, yellow. They can tell you about vowelization. So it's vowelization and diacriticization. So Quran has been preserved in both of these instances to this meticulous level of detail. So for example, we read Maliki Yawmiddin and Maliki Yawmiddin. Both have been preserved.
Here's my issue with this.
From day one.
So when we look at the 10 manuscripts and you compare the surahs between the 10 manuscripts, they don't agree on every single passage in every ayah.
Okay. Here is my challenge to you.
There you go.
Yep. And to your...
There you go.
Hold on. Listen. I'm responding to you.
Surah 66 is a good example.
Okay, 66.8.
Yeah.
Are there any manuscripts contemporary to 66.8 that is exactly the same as this correction?
Say that again.
Okay. 66.8 is an example. They said there's an insertion.
Yes.
Right.
And in the top copy, or whatever it's called, it doesn't exist.
That particular manuscript has an insertion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So insertion is a corruption, isn't it?
Potentially.
Right. So do we have, without the insertion, another manuscript of the same time or before, exactly the same as this manuscript? Or even manuscripts later?
So what we're saying is like the top copy, or whatever way you pronounce that hasn't got that verse in at all. Okay?
I am asking you simple. God-given brain, use it please. If this is a corruption, meaning the original text was what it was there in the first time, and someone corrupted it by adding a word to it, right? That means forget the addition of the word. The original writing, do you have consistency of this writing with other manuscripts, because that's what the other manuscripts will have before, even or after?
We're not questioning that. We're questioning that there are variances between the manuscripts.
Do you not get this straight in your head?
Yeah.
God-given intelligence, use it by...
No, don't need to insult me.
I'll tell you what.
That's personal.
Excuse me, I am going to call a spade a spade.
No, I'm saying... No, you're not, because I don't make that accusation to you.
What did I say?
I don't get personal like that.
Did I say you have a God-given intelligence?
Yeah.
So when did I say you haven't got it?
Don't, try and use it like it suggests
I am saying, listen, I am saying simply, if that is the original reading, the author who copied it from somewhere or transcribed it, is he the only one on planet Earth back then who was writing the Quran? Or there were other people?
Of course there were others.
Right. Did the others also have the same text?
Right, so here's my point.
Excuse me. Did the others have the same text? Or the ones before him did have the same text? The one after him did have the same text?
Right. Let me just put this point out, because this is the only way I can qualify this as we go around circles.
Did you understand my point?
Yeah, but let me qualify this.
Tell me first what you understood.
Let me qualify this in a much better way. We take all the old manuscripts that we have found variances in all of them. In all of them.
You're just waffling.
In all of them. No.
I'm picking a particular example. Example.
Are you disputing what I'm saying here? Are you disputing that?
You are not dealing with. You're not dealing with the example at hand. I am saying.
I see what you're saying.
Surah 66.8.
That's not my claim.
What is the claim?
My claim is that between the manuscripts, all the old manuscripts we've got, there are variances in all of them.
There are what?
Variances.
Scribal errors and correction.
Yes.
So what?
What do you mean? So what?
Yeah, so what?
That's not the Muslim claim.
What is the Muslim claim?
The scholars.
You know what? This is exactly what I hear. You make. You make a claim based on what? No one makes such a claim. Who makes a claim? Which you're debunking? No one.
Yeah. All your latest scholars,
red herring.
All your latest scholars. No. All your latest scholars say that you haven't got those variances. They don't exist. That's my issue.
Name me a scholar. You made a claim. Name me a scholar. Game is up.
No.
Name me a scholar.
All the latest ones.
Name me a scholar. Name one.
I don't know the name.
Name one scholar on planet Earth, the claim that you are making, that they're making. Planet Earth is a big world, right?
Yeah.
So go on.
Well, no, put it this way. Are these new scholars?
Excuse me, Mark. If you have any integrity left,
No,
name one scholar.
But are your scholars?